Okay, so we are live. Okay, seems like YouTube and Twitch are working. That's good. Now what I'll do is, what is this here? Anyways, I'll do a vengeance and what is the other thing? Ascension. So let's make an API. Let's make API functions for those. So we have reclamation here. So say avenge corpse, NG corpse player, right? We'll say ascent corpse, NG corpse player, right? Okay. I know this is sucky because I would rather not have to do this. Let's add those. I said clops. Yeah, let's grab those two. Let's move them in here. Return will be valueless. What's up, Arthur? Oh, that's great. Let me say something to you then. Let me at least wave to you. Wait, where are you? Oh, I think they removed the messages. Oh, I see your message though. Introduction. Huh. Really fucking epic that you're here. Yeah, in both cases we'll consume the corpse, right? Corpse. And in both cases we'll have an entry array. Units. Actually, you should have avenge or send corpse as one thing, probably. Maybe vengeful ascension, right? Ascension. I don't know. Avenge or ascend sounds better. I think. It's pretty often. I think one was sent today. Yeah. I got one at 7 a.m. Oh, I guess that's kind of sad timing because it seems like sometimes it takes like 2 weeks, sometimes it takes a week, sometimes like it's somewhere around that. So that's kind of unlucky timing if you didn't get that yet. Were you at it before 7 a.m.? I got it at 7:21 a.m. So in the morning. So I guess you were at it after it was sent. I can probably forward it to you though. Although I don't know, that's probably not. I'm not sure. Now let's get that. I'll say corpse player. Equals corpse ext player. Not sure why it has to say original player. And now if SCW allied to, say if the corpse player is allied to the player, maybe it should be vice versa. I think Avenge got move speed and Ascent got attack speed, right? What does, and allied is Avenge. Avenging. Not sure if that's spelled right. Seems wrong. I don't know, it's not interesting. Okay. We'll search and now we'll do the filter. I can't do the filter though. And we'll just say I equals this. Units count plus I. Unit equals units I. If SCW is allied to, so if the player is allied to the unit player, that's when we will say also need unit ext. Grab it here. Actually, if we are not allied to them, that's when we continue. Right. We'll do the same here, but it will be for when we are allied. That's when we do not apply it. And here, this would just be a timer. I need to rework statuses so they are not timer based, because the timer based thing is super hard to maintain because you have to like every time you add a status you have to like manually add code for like status inheritance, for clearing, for like displaying it. It's a disaster. We haven't been adding them correctly since ages. And the time it applies to, it is not, I know, it's specified as 3, of course. 3 seconds. Actually, what's kinda intrigue I can do is say timer ID equals this. And that's when I say avenge, and otherwise I say timer ascend. And then I say done. Kinda neat. Not gonna lie. Okay. Think that does it. And now in speed, unit speed, ascension is move speed, right? Ascending. No, ascension is attack speed, okay. Keep feeling that the buffs being swapped would make more sense, but maybe not. Okay. So if the timer, wait, this is speed, so speed is revenge, timer revenge, speed increase it by this number. Okay, and I'll say it's kind of dumb comment because it doesn't say anything. Maybe I say Protoss Cornerstone Avenge. Okay. Was it Cornerstone or was it something else? Yeah, it was Cornerstone. Okay. And now the same thing we have to say in attack speed, which is actually attack cooldown. And now what we say here is cooldown, we divide it by 125. And we'll say this is ascend. Okay. This one doesn't have it. Let's keep it, I guess. Okay, and now for corpses, we need to add them a timer. Or rather, that's actually... I just say flags and we'll have enum ng flags. We'll say... Do we ever ascend after a second? Ascend. Yeah, we do. Those will be the flags that I will add. Like this. Okay. And now in data.ext is where I will say if ng.ext flags equals ng.ext flags. Send after 1 second. And activity timer is greater than 24. That's when we... Actually, I just realized that we need a player, so actually we'll say ng.ext. Is there like a one word I can use for describing the behavior? Since I would want like a, I'd want to say vengeful ascension here, but that's too long for a code name. I also don't want to ascend or avenge. That's also stupid. I don't know. Stupid. We'll say that for now, but that needs a change. Please find a shorter name. Say this. Okay, so now if this is set, that's when we Avenger is sent, and here's when we would say -1, right? Yeah, if you could find me a one-word description of this behavior, that would be handy. But now I have to go for something related to Unity XT, which I'll have to say timer. Yeah, it would have to be ascent or it would have to be avenge or ascent. That's probably the best one. It's mouthful. Although it's very readable. Is avenge ascent is not readable to me. Yeah. True. And now what I need is let me look at those. So I think what needs to happen is destructor unit destructor special is when we have to have F CBW auto avenge, right? Say Fingy or rather unit ID. Maybe like this. DOS auto avenge, maybe. Would it be nice to split API to like utility utility functions will be fine to be here, but like behavior functions should probably be its own file. API should probably be renamed to like utils maybe or something, and yeah, that's a good name. think Hierophant was one. Or maybe no, that was Ecclesiast. We'll see what they all are in a sec. Ecclesiast. Oh, Hierophant is special passive. Vassal is one. Vassal. Wait, this should work technically. This should also work. Oh, this. Can you explain this one to me? Because corpses don't have vision range. Does it just mean the corpses like former vision range or something? Well, that's for self-avenging, right? But what for when you're consuming another corpse? Feels so strange that we're reusing vision range for so many things that don't seem to be related to vision range. I mean, doing the source unit, so for the example of Star Sovereign, it probably means just the Star Sovereign vision range. That shouldn't be hard, per se. Also, this should be unit, because we might need to read unit ext. What's up, Tarzan? I'm working on the Brood War mode. Should play one day. Okay, I think it says true, right? So we'll say that this is done. Vassal's done. Servitor. Suppose Aurora is only when it's successful, right? Archon. That's neat. Very thematic. Yeah, sure. I mean, maybe if maybe once vision ranges are more like standardized, that makes it more sensible. Because yeah, right, it makes sense that they would scale. I keep thinking that vision range is like something that is it's just like a trait of the unit, but technically it could just be a scaling factor. Expression of power, not an expression of personality. And in that way, I guess it would make more sense. Ecclesiast, I think I flagged that one. Okay, and I will say unit out of Vengeance unit. And I don't think I copied. Oh, it's self Vengeance. So now what do we need also? We'll just use the default. It will say the range. This. And now and data.ext, when we update all the fringes, that's where we would call this with the range here. And this actually means that it will get the site range of the unit just when it dies. So that's probably perfect. Because it would mean that if it was nerfed, that means that nerf prevails to the corpse, and vice versa. If it was buffed, it would mean the effect range was affected, basically, right? I mean, maybe this would be actually vision range before death. It's probably, or rather, this should be sight range. I think that's what we call it. And now instead of only assigning it for self-avenging units, that's we would actually assign it to anything. Although maybe that's not necessary because yeah, the weird thing is that it is the vision range of the unit of the source effect source unit. That's confusing. Okay, well, so yeah, this is only applicable to the avenge, self-avenge actually. So this is assigned where exactly here? So I think I'll always assign it anyways, if I would want to use it for something. But I think I'll actually grab it like this. Okay. What is the Unity XT used for? No, it's only used here. That's perfect. That means I can reorder this. Oh, so it's always the corpse. That's great. That makes it way less confusing. So that means I can drop this param since it's always consistent. Remove the param and I can just have the range be here. Corpse. XT, right? And obviously one thing that I should check is if this is not an active corpse, that's when we don't want to do anything. This is more like a protection before against like misuse of the API flank. I would be more performant to not have it, but I know that eventually we'll misuse it. Because there are ways of searching non-active corpses. I should probably make the unit search only search for active corpses, probably. Or even maybe return a struct of active corpse or something. I don't know. Not sure. But I will consider that eventually. So now I think this is this should be of the corpse in that case. Dying enemies afflicted with signify manus. When the hero dies, any I see. It's interesting that you made it so it consumes all corpses, but I get it since the behavior doesn't stack. So that's actually really neat because it gives you it's very different, very interesting because it gives you only one reward, but it stackingly removes the resources, I guess, right? So that's like a good counter against the other races. So yeah. Although you wouldn't want to deny too many corpses unnecessarily, since that might mean you get the buff for shorter, right? So it has a push and back, right? Yeah, I feel like we should have three files actually. One would be for behavior API, one would be just for like unit IDs, and one would be for like utility functions for like Mafi stuff or whatever. That would be the greatest organization because this file is so fucking annoying to browse. And I think what I say here is unit sense unit, right? Let's say shoot, avenge, or ascend actually, and it will return a U32, which is the player plus one. So we'll say returns 0 if no. Returns player plus one. Or source player plus one if Avenger ascend returns 0 otherwise. If should avenge or ascend. Even said like that. Turn 0 otherwise. Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what I need. And here this is just unit player plus one. Same here. Here's 0, right? So this will be avenge. And this will be ascend. And the only way this differs is actually by the player, right? By the source player. So in this case, I will even move this up. In this case, if we have malice, this is probably timer malice. Let's see, Hierophant, no, this will be signify. Value signify stacks. Oh, gross. This uses STL. So this is for 5 or more, right? It's more than 5. And the way what we return is unity xt Values, value, signify. Vector signify. Oh no. That's gross. Value vector, please don't use vectors. Maybe I'm not gonna type exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. This might be a bit too silly. Value vector? What the fuck? Should work. And instead I will just keep the last signify player. Obviously the more sensible option would just be to have status as a thing that would hold the player, the source player in the count. But we don't have that right now. As actually is really super simple now because all we say here is unit. Unit should avenge or ascend. And even I should say unit avenges or ascends. Yeah, maybe this should even be that. And maybe not. Unit avenger or ascend player. Maybe. I don't know. Whatever. We can come back to that. Not super clear. It doesn't mention the return, what the result type is really, but. And here this is simplified to saying. Values, value, signify, layer like this. And now I can't even get that code. Gross. Still done. Okay, what else? Value. Oh my god. This +1 thing is a bit annoying. I don't do it usually. But doesn't really matter. And now the question is too, does it actually care? Match, there's a match. I think what we also need to say is if the unit doesn't have a signify style. Because signify player used to also say, oh no, actually never mind. Uh, is cowardice supposed to work with any allied unit? Because I thought it was meant to only apply, like, work with Hierophants, where, like, only running from Hierophants is what slows you, but it seems like it's any ally. It may have been a revision. I don't know. Okay, good. Okay, let's see the API. Avenger Sent Corpse. So this should work. Epic. Does that make the unit absolutely useless while mobile? I mean, it's obviously not absolutely useless, but does it mean it like does nothing? Like no weapon, no ability, no passive when it's mobile, and it only heals when it's deployed, or does it mean that deploy mode actually improves the ability or something? Oh, okay. Can we also make the heal rate not dependent on the range? I mean, maybe I'm overreacting how complicated that like how much complexity that does add. Maybe it shouldn't be removed, but that was something I thought about a while ago at least, and maybe it could be simplified. Oh, it was already. Okay. I think I need to make that. I need to split those. A bit of a copy pasta, but it was also incorrect because of this this if statement. So good that I Oh no, actually, this is also misspelled. Let's make it a mutual. Is mutual ally is our mutual allies. And that makes more sense. If they aren't, that's when we don't avenge, and if they are our mutual allies, that's when we ascend, right? Okay. Hmm. Huh. So what now? So last orders, that's or when. Let's do last orders. Last orders. Where are last orders? Is that in instead? Yeah, okay. Let's quickly clean this up a bit. Okay. Now, what we would also say here is CMBW. Avenge or ascend. Corpses is in area, unit position. Say 2. And we'll say unit player. Yeah, it is likely. Okay. I marked them as done so I can be organized, but I obviously haven't tested anything yet. Now, was it use tag where we have? No, use tag is when we assign Sir Severine, but where is that game hooks? Sorry. Oh yeah, this is it. So actually, we'll do that and so griefing. I will respond to you in a second. I'm not reading the channel right now. Just FYI, but I will avenge the corpses first, right? It's very important. So we'll say effect radius, effect player, and effect position. Yeah, I like the. It's just so much easier when I write the utility functions first, and then I just slot them in. I think you have to remove the unit. Removing unit. I hope it creates the corpse. The unit doesn't get. Oh, actually, this is brutal. I don't know. But no, remove only would change the linked list management. It wouldn't clear the unit in Brood War. So the position would still be valid, the player would be valid, so that's fine. And what I'm hoping is happening is that the remove actually creates the corpse. Because then it would be automatically avenged or ascended, right? Which is, I think, is the desired behavior. Maybe it's not. So this seems to be done. Patriarch. So astral rule that has to be added to dude, actually let me organize this a bit for you. Thank me later. Let's make this folder called CMBW. Now let's add a class. And the reason I'm saying add a class is because C++ class is what creates CPP and H file automatically. I will call this, I don't know, CMBW behaviors. Now grab it here. And now, to make it super easy to use, I don't know. I feel like we shouldn't use namespaces, but maybe I should make it. Have a namespace CMBW or something. Really sucks, but huh. Maybe not. Maybe not have it. And now let's grab all this code for avenging and reclaiming. Sure, corpses. Is any corpse? That's fine. Grab it here. And now all of this. I'll move to here. And now to make this automatic, I will make this. So this will just include serial data, maybe? That's enough, right? And now API will be the one including. Actually, it will include a file, a helper file called cmbw.h. CMBW, right? And now this one just for now recruits behaviors. This file should just have all the CMBW includes here. Okay. And now this one, the CPP file can just include the API, and that's easy. Great. And now scbw consume will just be consumed. I guess API can be the file that we keep the like math helpers and other things. Maybe do that. Right. Yeah, let's keep API for helpers, and I think one other thing probably I will add is CMBW unit IDs, right? Or CMBW IDs, probably. CMBW IDs, right? Oh, wrong. And what this should have is just this, right? And this is where I can just move all the weapon ID, unit ID. This should go to behaviors, CMBW, behaviors. Right. Incubate's one other one I would want to move. Yeah, let's use the tabs, I guess. API.cpp. Okay, whatever, let's not do that yet. Okay. Incubate. Okay. Now, manage unit overlay is something I thought about. Probably want to say sprite. Whatever, manage. So we'll say add unit overlay. Unit. Okay, so I'm reorganizing a bunch of things. Much needed refactoring. Oh. Yeah, I would want to move more of them there, but yeah, this is not it's not small, let's say. Not a small refactoring, but that's fine. Because it'll be worth it. I hate zombie comments. I left it in case it's used, but it wasn't, so it's really fine. CMBW API. Well, the stream is still young, actually, but I'm already going for longer, basically. I bet it is. Sounds pretty epic on paper, and will probably be pretty epic in gameplay, and definitely look epic. Oh, maybe it should cause more gas now. That would make sense. I was thinking that some things probably need to cause more gas now. Although you're already aware for sure. But it was just like a thought I had after we played the game 9. It's like, okay, good, great, we have more gas, but now some techie stuff probably should cost more. And some shouldn't, right? And I think that makes it interesting. It felt like it's uh like one game I went like a Maverick Rush, right? Uh and it felt great to be only doing only like it felt really how should I say it? It felt like it was I had lots of mirrors, right? But so like basically what I'm trying to say is that it feels like you have options. You can either go like heavy minerals, you can go heavy gas, you can go mix or whatever. Right? Pretty cool. And yeah, I don't know if you were watching my run refactoring, but I moved some things from API to a special CMBW folder that is more organized. And there is still a few more things that we should move there. Namely, unit ID checks. Yeah, that's a big difference. Although I could see a world where it costs even more gas but less minerals. That would kind of make it like a neat fit in for like a gas for a mineral heavy composition, but this costs probably fine anyways. Just a fun. Okay. All of the ones that I already moved. Now actually let's make sure. I don't think the ordering here is particularly correct. Why? Okay, as for castle, collides. Okay, let's split them. Side provider, power generator, morphed. Minier. Regions in combat should be here. That feels fucking great, honestly. She having some organization. Unit combat within seconds. Update on. Is this really necessary? It's literally called in one place. Interesting. Well, whatever. That should probably move to behaviors. Doesn't really matter. Whatever. Yeah, sure. Okay. Do you have any thoughts on the refactoring I'm doing? Does this I feel like it's good work, but kind of curious if there's something you think. So I assume like this feels great because it also gives us a folder where we can put new files in. I think I could probably make a file for like globals, one for like maybe a extended AI, probably rename data ext to be in here, like CMBW ext maybe, or CMBW I don't know, custom or something. Just have a folder where everything is defined would be great. Okay, so this can be now fixed. This can be now fixed. Kinda sucks that I started doing it when I was doing something else though. For sure, but I feel like if I haven't done it, I would have not done it at all, so better that I did it than that I did not. That's my thinking. Okay. Okay, now hopefully I get new kind of errors, and hopefully they're also useful. Oh, no, they're not. Okay. This does make sense. I don't see that now. I'll try to use it like that. Okay. CMBW ID. Because my workflow in Visual Studio is tragic. It really is. And I guess I will do those immediately too. So basically we'll have this. And honestly, since we don't use the unit, is if unit subunit, and rather maybe you say unit equals unit subunit, then unit subunit, otherwise unit. Right. This. And then for adding, this is what we do, and for removing, this is for what we do, right? So unit. Actually, this. Oh, that's interesting. Let's do that then, because it also checks if it's a subunit, right? And now this can be removed, which means I'll have to correct all of that. So it seems like weapon ID intercepts was not correctly pasted. We grab that, get that. This is on the unit. Only kind of feel like this should be pinned. Maybe just very small. And maybe what we say here is also that the underlay is by default false. This is remove unit overlay. That's what it is. This is on unit overlay. This is on. This is remove unit overlay. I mean, the first refactor of this was also like it was less readable, but it was still great. I feel like, because made you not have to inline all of that stupid shit with, and this is also on Ryan. Add unit overlay. I guess we could also say unit spine. Again, overlay image ID. That's when we would return. Why not? Let's have that protection. On unit overlay. Although maybe there is a reason to not have that, because first of all, have to sometimes do 2 checks unnecessarily, and second of all, sometimes you may want to duplicate the overlays. So add unit. Oh my god. Okay. I don't know why my clipboard just suddenly went away. It's epic. This is remove unit overlay. Yeah, this is an on error. This is add unit overlay. And this is remove unit overlay. No, just remove unit overlay. They're both actually remove. Oh, it just says CLE remove unit overlay. Same for this one. And this is actually an underlay. Maybe there should also be add unit underlay. I don't know. Not sure. This would be on. Remove. Add. Add. Remove. Okay. Seems like there's only one call for the underlay so far. If that stays that well, then it's really... that probably means there's no need to split them because there's no like branch mispredictions. Although probably never are because that's a const thing. I don't know. Probably really fast anyways. But this is mainly more readable. Okay, now we are back to API and moving things to the correct file. Holy fuck, will you cooperate? Does anyone know how to navigate this program? Visual Studio, most useful hotkeys. Did someone really said that this is the most useful hotkey? What the fuck? That might be useful, honestly. Might be something I started using. Control Shift T is for files. We'll say api.h. F. api.h. Interesting API? No? Let's say I'm looking for what? Capped gas structure. Okay. Really useful. So the first three we are missing. And now let's see Control T unit. D is transport. Fine. Maybe a student can be in here. I'm not sure. I feel like CMBW ID should only have unit ID, and like a unit something should be in like CMBW utils maybe. Not sure. Oh, what? Okay. After this long refactoring is when I think we should probably start doing something more related to Ascension, right? Something I should start using for sure. Fuck. Why doesn't it want API? Anyways, those shortcuts are something I should start using. Control T and Control Shift T. Why doesn't this one go to? What if I say CMBW? Oh, it does allow me. Yeah, Control T is very useful. Should start using it. I think I want to go to Avenge. Let's see here. Right. Would be nice to have like some hotkeys for using double panels though. Was there something in the chat now? Okay. Yeah, okay, what now? Astral rule. So this will be sense or yeah, this is it. And now what I'm looking for is if unit ext timers timer astral blessing. No, that's not. That's astral rule. This is what I'm looking for. So if the timer is there, that's when we say unit ext values. Astral rule layer. Great. +1. So we always have to do in this function. Okay, so that's done. Basically, what I would be looking for is to only use a keyboard while I'm working. That would be great. What I should also learn is how to type faster. Because I'm currently using like 2 fingers, I think, for typing or something. Something around that. Maybe 4. Should be using almost all of them, right? I Visual Studio switch between left and right node panels. No. Says control 1, control 2, but that doesn't work. I think that's probably because the question is about code. Yeah, of course. 2022. So Pariah. What do we have for Pariah? Dude, that hotkey's so OP. Oh, it is. Oh, I know it is. It's also damn fucking hard to learn. So I don't think I'm doing that soon. I also like a big reason I'm still using Visual Studio is because it has a debugger. I kind of like that in my workflow that I don't have to switch to another program. And maybe I would use like RemedyBG, but that only supports x64, and this mod is actually x86. So, well, yeah, let's see. So, the value count is ready to go. No, it opened it in the second window, but the focus is in this window. That's annoying. Maybe I don't use a double window setup. I only needed that for a moment, really. Oh, I think I closed that. But the Control T thing will speed up my workflow for sure. I would want to learn Vim though. That is something I was looking for. It's just I don't. It's all super complicated. It doesn't seem like it's very intuitive. I was looking into NeoVim in specific, but I opened the program and didn't know how to even navigate it. Solution Explorer, what I need. Okay. So I can probably find. Now what I'm looking for is timer count, right? And I need the timer for timer Pariah hit, right? I'll say weapon damage behaviors, and we'll say this depends on the ID. So in the case of weapon ID Pariah icon blast blades, right? Make since to go here. Do you use Vim, Arthur? Target ext timers timer Pariah hit equals 2 times 24, and now ascends or avenges or ascends. The funny thing is that I actually typed it in the wrong order, but I actually written this search very well, surprisingly, for Visual Studio, because what I guess it does is it splits those two tokens. So if I say avenges or ascends, or it treats this as token, this as token, and this as token, and that's why this function is valid. It's really neat, I think. Okay, avenge. And now here we say if unit ext timers timer Pariah hit. Right. Yeah, I know that a lot of people use NeoVim. +1. Okay, let's copy this. Let's go to value count. Let's add this here. I feel so fast now. Pariah hit timer. And now what I need is a hotkey for find all references. I think Shift F12. Or no. Not that useful. Shift F12. Yeah, I don't think Visual Studio will support this very well. This is what I need, right? And now how do can I click Control 1? How do I focus the main window? Let's see, Visual Studio 2022 focus main window. So if I could do that, that would be great. What does it mean to group verbs? I really like the navigation in Vim though. I mean, I haven't learned it fully, but the idea of not having to move your hand to the arrow keys nor the mouse seems like a good idea. Unit player, or rather data, attacking, player ID, right? Now let's see this, pariah, right? Herald. Okay, let's do Maelstrom. Maelstrom hit. Dude, finding functions so easy now. As this project used to be, it is very unorganized, and now this Control T thing works really fucking fast for Visual Studio. It's really fucking great. Oh my. Yeah, I said Visual Studio was great, and now I don't have. Oh, okay. Now I have the cursor. And here I would say this is like avenge or ascend corpses in area, unit position, or rather, and this is XY. The radius is 2 times 32, and the player is the bullet player. Just make this bullet position instead. Oh, yeah, right. I remember that. There was something I learned. So I think I watched Mental Outlaw's guide for this. Mental Outlaw Vim. Vim series. Goddamn.
A lot of people choose.
He had something for Vim. Vim tutorials. I think I watched the entirety of this. Or most of it, I guess. I think one of this that explained the verb system. And that does seem like a very nice thing, because if you can navigate using words and paragraphs and symbols, and you can find them and you can do whatever, that seems like such a good idea. And yeah, I would want to learn that. Sounds great. Seems like it's a bit weird that the radius is different than the maelstrom head. But whatever. That was the design. Allies that fall within to range of Herald are avenged. Yeah, I must imagine. And it's also very nice to be able to like navigate files using the keyboard and whatnot, or create files. When I see people use Vim, it looks so pleasant. Although I just don't know. I just found it hard to actually find it, and maybe I should just, or maybe I just should install like a plugin to this garbage program. Vim. Vim emulation layer. There's groove plugs. That sounds useful. Can I use that? I think I'd have to reopen. Anyways, let's do Herald. Oh, Let's not use the mouse. Destructor special cases, right? And now let's see case unit ID Herald. And now we'll say SCBW. See what does it do? Only hostile corpses, so we'll say avenge. Or rather ascend corpses. Unit position. The radius is 2. Right? And now actually and take unit is where I would say switch. Dude, this is so convenient. Find that I can say like I can actually think a thought, like think what place I want to be in, and I can just control T. I was looking for this because I saw that in like 4Coder and Emacs, I think. Specifically 4Coder, I think. And it was really useful, but I wasn't sure that it would work that well in this program. Anyways, in case unit ID Herald. Entry search. Analyze. Entry search. No. Unit search. Radio. Analyze. This is actually entry array. Radio. Unit position. I assume. No, this is 2 times 32. Okay. I'll say unit filter. Search filter. Search filter. Analyze unit. Unit. Just the unit. We'll say filter. Yeah, that makes sense. And now what I will say is in timer, I will go to timer count. I'll say timer. One thing that I can do right now is Herald Avenge, right? One thing I can do is say I can't control T to just like a line of code, really. I guess I could if I knew the line of code, but whatever. I can say control. Control. Oh no, it's control minus, control shift minus. What is the? Yeah, it should be control minus. Okay, yeah, it is. And now what I say is this. No, I don't. Not yet. This is just a thought array that is on stack, and this is ridiculous because this is like 16 kilobytes of space. It is very ridiculous. It used to be less ridiculous because the unit limit used to be smaller. It used to be 1,700. It was still ridiculous, but it's just on the stack. And it probably should be on like a tick arena, right? That's probably a revision I should do relatively soon, I think. As I can technically do growing arrays in an arena, or not really. I don't know how I would do that with arena. The way Broodwar did it is that they just had like a static array. One like global array that they would call to. And let's make this just very short. It's immediately cleared if they go out of range. Or maybe I probably need to make this a bit longer because if they die, yeah, whatever. And now avenge or ascend corpse, right? This would be somewhere here, unit events or ascents, and now we'll say if unit, and this is actually in the avenge range. Whatever, actually remove this. Say timers, timer, herald avenge, right. Actually, just say, let's make this last error. Or maybe, never mind, actually. I try my best to avoid templates, and bucket arrays are kind of difficult to implement without templates. I don't know. I really don't want to be bothered with like writing collections because collections are pain in the butt in both C++ and C. I mean, if you're going the macro only way, you're dealing with many issues, and if you're going with template only way, that also causes some issues like compile time skyrocketing and a few other things. Okay, I think we are done though. And I wrote so much code without even testing one, so I'm sure everything will just work.
What must be done? As it is written.
It's probably not the best thing to test. Spawn.
Another breach. Send me.
Yeah, I think it worked. Now one thing I should do is in avenge corpse, right? I should say let's get a pause from the corpse position. Corpse prime position. Yeah, stack based allocators have that issue. And one neat thing is because the problem with stack based allocator is if your block size is smaller than your total size, then you might have an issue. Although in case of a stack allocator, you probably, if I just have one like a tick allocator, that's probably when I would probably just make it big enough, like probably like 1 meg would probably be an overkill anyways, and you wouldn't have to even bother with allocating. But in Antikythera, the engine, the actual game that I'm working on, it's on x64, which makes me able to use this virtual alloc trick where I can reserve an entire 4 GB, but I comment only a little bit, so I can grow the arena how I want, and it's always contiguous in terms of like the address space, right? So it allows for easy reallocation. But the problem is if you're reallocating if you're reallocating, that's means you can't. You can reallocate in stack base, but that means you can't push anything between the alloc you're reallocating and the reallocation, right? So if you have in memory like array of 8 units, and you would push a unit here, can't realloc, have to alloc, right? And if you have array of 8 units and no unit, you can just add 8 more units or something, right? Probably. I mean, Linux has mmap, right? But yeah, it's not platform independent. Unfortunately, because it's a it has really nice properties. Okay, anyways. What I need is to create an init affinity. What do I add? Let's say this. Pos X, pos Y, carb sprite player, carb sprite elevation, right? But yeah, I'm not entirely sure. The whole allocation thing is a tough problem to solve, tough nut to crack, and I don't think the answer is just to dynamic alloc, because that's. I mean, they can be fine at times, but ideally you wouldn't be. Like, at least you'd want to avoid the million allocations, the allocations per frame thing that like Unreal Engine does. It's really bad. I'm really surprised that that engine can be commercially successful. It's really bad idea. I mean that most games for that game are like they are GPU bound anyways, so wasting your CPU resources probably doesn't matter. But if you wanted to make a game that actually does something interesting.
A death of spirit. Bravery's grave. Our time has come. Another breach. Withdraw. Send me away.
Are they supposed to? So pariahs are supposed to ascend?
Another breach.
Why is that working?
Online, sir.
Kinda confused.
A death of spirit. See reason. Eyes up. Bravery's grave. See reason.
So confusing. That shouldn't work.
Send me away. My pain is your success. See reason.
I feel like it's eventually.
A death of spirit.
Somehow. When? Oh, why is it avenging, actually? Yeah, I see what's happening. We. So. Okay, now let's say avenge or send player. I don't know. I need to say something like that, science, Let's say so we'll say bull avenges, right? I'm curious if compiler is smart enough to make a jump here. Not sure. Yeah, I'll say if avenges, I'll say return unit player +1, right? Ascent. Say -1. Stay done or unindent. Or maybe let's indent it and maybe let's add the braces. Wait. Okay. And now if SCBW are mutual allies. And we are mutual allies, that's when we return it, right? And return 0 by default, right? So what do we do? And now actually one thing to keep in mind is that we no longer on the +1 in this and the actual ifs. We only do it here. Okay, I think that does it. But I actually feel like we should probably allow maybe we should allow zero say you explicitly worded where to avenge and where to when to Sam, but maybe we should allow assuming any corpse and allowing the sacrificial. Okay. Think that does it. Refactor API to rather Oh, I was muted too. I don't know when you said bye, but see you later. I was muted, unfortunately. But yeah, I resolved my marriage conflicts, and I think we're good to go there.
Your orders!
Something on your mind? Oh, is that it?
Time's running out.
Our time has come.
How may I aid
Our
you?
time has
How
come.
may I aid you? I abide with pride the Templar march in your name.
My pain is your success. Another breach. Send me away.
That's it. Thanks anyone for watching, and I'll see you guys.